Call of Duty is truly fighting for its life. Its Metacritic scores are the lowest of any Call of Duty ever. All of them. Think about that. And I'm not just talking about just the review bomb user score, it's the critic score as well. And if you're a long-time gamer, you will know that the, gaming journalists are often cucks for Call of Duty because they, throw them a couple of schmeckles. But it appears that not just the users, but the critic scores are the lowest of all time. And keep in mind, this is a game franchise that has released games like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty World War II, Call of Duty Vanguard, and this one scored lower than all of those. And that boggles the mind. But what boggles the mind even more is where the hell is Ubisoft's Xdefiant? Xdefiant, for those that are unaware, is a Call of Duty-like competitor announced about a year ago. I think it was a year ago. I'm not sure. If you're watching this channel and you expect me to have correct dates, numbers, statistics, even sources, I'm sorry, I don't do that shit. That's nerd shit. I just talk out of my ass on video and post it to the internet. Like you should. But anyway, the game was announced and it truly looked like a Call of Duty competitor. And I know, there have been Call of Duty competitors for the past 20 years or so. Tons of them. Things like Homefront, Medal of Honor. And all of them have been varying in terms of quality, to say the least. Some of them I enjoyed. Honestly, to be quite honest, a lot of Call of Duty competitors I've enjoyed, at least for a little bit, but they haven't dethroned Call of Duty. But Xdefiant truly looked like a Call of Duty experience. And not just a Call of Duty experience, a Call of Duty experience from back in the heyday. Sort of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, MW3 style of gameplay with a few added new elements because of course you have to change things in some ways. You gotta make the game interesting. It's not quite a hero shooter, but there are class-based abilities that are very helpful that you can use, and there's a faction element to it. But at the end of the day, the run and gun gameplay looks very similar to the old Call of Duties that people feel so nostalgic for. And people were really excited about Xdefiant. The people that got to play it in the betas and the player tests and the server tests often said that it felt like old Call of Duty. A lot of the big time Call of Duty streamers really enjoyed the game, and it got me super excited about it. Now flash forward to, I believe, this summer, the game gets delayed. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why it got delayed, but I think a lot of people were saying that it's probably related to the release of Modern Warfare 3, that they didn't want to compete. And if we're being honest, if you look back at a lot of the pre-release stuff, MW3 had a lot of hype going for it. There was a lot of nostalgia bait. There were a lot of promises that were made about how this game was going to fix a lot of the problems of the last game, and people were generally excited about MW3 at the time that this game was announced. Or at the time that Xdefiant was announced to be delayed. And now that MW3 is released and the review scores are out there in the public, it really makes you wonder, what if they didn't delay it? What if they published it right now? What if they would have had faith in their game that everyone had said was so good and a legitimate Call of Duty competitor? What if they had just put it out there and had faith in their game? They would be reaping the benefits right now. They would be making a gajillion dollars on battle passes and the storefront, because gamers like me, okay, I'm a big Call of Duty guy. I usually buy it every year. This is probably the first year in my entire sort of gaming existence that I have not bought the new Call of Duty. I buy it every year. I play it for 2 or 3 months. It consumes my life for about 2 months. I get sick of it, and I get back to whatever games or other activities I want to do with the rest of my year. But I get about 2 great months of Call of Duty, and I look forward to it every year because I get my great 2 months of just grinding that multiplayer, and it takes me back to childhood, and it's very nostalgic. But I could not justify the price this year because the product that was offered was not of quality. And if Xdefiant would have been there to scratch that itch, to give me that 2 months of great Call of Duty content, I would have thrown some money out there. I would have, I'd get the battle pass. I'd be playing with my friends. I want to show them my cool camos. Maybe I buy one from the store to show off because hey, the game is free. Yes, Xdefiant it's a free-to-play shooter. So you have Call of Duty that bombs, costs $70, everyone hates it. Oh, look over here, here's this free shooter. It's the greatest marketing of all time. You wouldn't have had to put out a trailer. You wouldn't have had to get commercials on TV or anything. Just word of mouth would have just spread that game across the planet, and it would have been, top 5 in terms of playing on the Steam charts or whatever. I guarantee it. And now I think the speculation is that Xdefiant is going to release in the summer of 2024. Well, that's not good for Xdefiant. MW3 has all that time to try and get better, because Call of Duty Activision, they're aware that this game is a stinker. I mean, they have social media, they can see it everywhere, all the YouTube videos talking about it, all the tweets about it, they can see the Metacritic score. They understand that this game is kind of a stinker right now, and they're going to work to make it better and bolster their player base. So when Xdefiant drops in the summertime and MW3 is a full feature complete game with DLC and all that kind of stuff, it's going to have to compete with MW3, which will probably be at a discounted price. So I just don't understand. Xdefiant, all you had to have done was just stand by your product, stay strong in what you've created, and you would have had a great release and a great player base. And I get it. I know that maybe that the Xdefiant, it's a lot of speculation as to why it didn't release, and maybe there is a problem with the game. But from what I've seen, the game looks so close to being ready that I can't think of any other reason other than they got scared of MW3. But if the delay is what it takes to produce a good game in this, modern era, I will stand by and respect Ubisoft for doing that, because incomplete games and all that garbage bugs the shit out of me. So if it were true that they just need more time to polish this game, more power to them, and it sucks that they missed out on this opportunity. But if it was because they were scared, they lost their one shot to truly take out a Call of Duty one year. Now, they're never going to take out Call of Duty for good. There's never going to be a Call of Duty competitor that puts Activision out of business or Infinity Ward out of business. It's just not going to happen. But you can take away a year. You can knock it off the charts for a year if you put out something really good. And I think Ubisoft had that opportunity this year, and they missed it. And to me, that's incredibly disappointing. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, do you still have faith in Xdefiant? Do you think, hey, maybe next summer it'll release and it'll be super popular? Or do you think that by missing this window and releasing when maybe MW3 is a little bit better, or releasing too close to the next Call of Duty, that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot and this game is going to be dead on arrival with a 7-player player base? Let me know down in the comments down below. Honestly, if I'm being truly honest, I'm still excited about Xdefiant. I think the gameplay looks so good and so similar to the old Call of Duties that I think people are going to kind of flock to it, at least some of the fan base, enough to get it a pretty stable player base and people playing it for a good amount of time. So I'm excited there, and I'm definitely going to play it when it launches. But I am disappointed that it missed out on this potential window to release. Potential, again. Everything here is in quotes, and I would put an asterisk next to everything I said here about, why it got delayed and released. But anyway, I'm excited for the game. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you've watched to the end here and you've, sacrificed this amount of time to come hang out with me and listen to me talk, thank you very much. And I would just ask that if you were thinking about it, please consider subscribing. I mean, you've watched this far. You'll probably like some of the other videos I put out, and definitely some of the stuff I'm going to be putting out in the future. So thank you for spending your time with me. It means a whole lot. And even if you didn't like the video, go leave a dislike. The engagement's good for me. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.